Hello and welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today we have my first ever unboxing from Perfect Player Press. You're probably thinking, what the hell is Perfect Player Press? Well, they're a new guy in the small press, fine press world, but not necessarily a new name to the small press world. So Jake Goldberg. So this right here is The Most Dangerous Game of Richard Connell. Here's a ding and dent copy for you. Thank you. JPG, which is Jake Paul Goldberg. Jake previously had been doing Radical Folio cases, which I showcased one on the channel here. He had provided me with a case for the Paper Menagerie, the short stops title from Conversation Tree Press. He was doing 3D printed cases. Pretty interesting stuff. But he has made the jump into actual fine press printing with, I guess, kind of his own version of short stops in a way. I mean, not that these are necessarily the same thing as short stops, but they are certainly a small short story. Ooh, like a little wafer sticker. I'm a sucker for wafer stickers. It's a small little short story that has gotten its own little standalone treatment in a letterpress printed manner with illustrations and an interesting case. So here we have an actual little introduction letter. So let's see. Oh, we have errata. There should be a paragraph break on page 2, line 13. How dare you, Jacob Goldberg? Moving forward, as mentioned, investing in more equipment, currently no materials, book and slipcase covered in handmade paper. There we go. Might be imperfections, as they say, which, is certainly the case. It's truly been a one-man job, aside from printing the books. Is there like some sort of watermark on the paper there that I'm seeing shine through? Or, anyways, very, very nice. And, so I purchased this in the premium format, which is the one on the right here. It's available in 2 states, a standard and a premium. Believe it or not, the standard's only 50 copies. The premium is 150. Premium coming with a very, very interesting handmade slipcase made of locked paper, the same paper that the book itself is bound in. And interestingly enough, I mean, we already have the size difference between the standard and premium, which is kind of wild. Because usually, these presses, when they do their changes... there's actually a cover beneath this, too. I did not realize. I was like, is this the cover? But no, it's straight up a hardcover book under this. This is just almost like a little jacket, if you will. But normally when you have multiple states like this of a title, it's pretty much the same trim size. I mean, obviously there are some exceptions. Most notably in Frozen Hell from Arate is disgustingly larger in like the lettered and Roman numeral edition. Very liking the binding on these, liking the little spines, little Most Dangerous Game label on the lettered edition. Numbered edition does not standard edition, I should say, does not have the label on the spine because it's got it on the little jacket. But let's dive in. We're going to start with the Standard Edition. If you are not familiar with The Most Dangerous Game, I'm kind of surprised because I feel like it's required reading in like high schools or middle schools. Oh, this is illustrated as well, as I mentioned. Brett Weldele has done 4 watercolor illustrations here. The watercolor illustrations, man, English is escaping me today, printed in Hanamulle Biblio paper, if I'm not mistaken. The rest of the books, the actual text itself, printed on Magnani Pescia, 130 grams per square meter. So anyways, this is one of the 50 standard. This is being a PC copy. It was printed by Nomad Letterpress. So The Most Dangerous Game is the story of a man who gets shipwrecked and finds himself on an island. And upon exploring that island, finds a very nice manor home. And he's like, oh, this guy is going to help me. Only to find out that the very eccentric owner of the manor home, I'm loving the watercolor illustrations. That looks awesome. It almost looks like, I mean, obviously this is a printing of the watercolor illustration, but it almost looks, based on the quality, like it's an original, like, you know, like he painted it right on this piece of paper. Like, that's very nice. Anyways, he finds himself shipwrecked on an island where there is an eccentric millionaire, I guess, at this point. This is from 100 years ago, so he's not quite a billionaire. He's a very, very wealthy individual who has quite, General Zaroff, who has quite an establishment of all sorts of hunting trophies on display. And he tells our shipwrecked protagonist that he is looking to hunt the most dangerous game. And it soon becomes apparent to our protagonist that man is the most dangerous game. And he finds himself on a cat and mouse showdown, running for his life, trying to not get himself killed. Because, that's not preferable. I know it got adapted into a film, like, God, many, many years ago. I think even the film is in public domain. Watched it on the big screen. Back during COVID, when like the movie theaters were shut down, there was a little local theater in the area here that was showing like classic films. You had to wear a mask and sit spaced apart from everybody. And one of the classic films they had shown here was The Most Dangerous Game, which, I mean, yeah, it was a fun film. Nice black and white. I think the thing was only like an hour long. I mean, it's a short film compared to like current film standards. But anyways, let's move on to the premium edition. You can see the sewn binding peeking right through there on the boards. But anywho, I'm kind of curious to see how the printings are side by side, because I feel like they're going to be the same size, just not trimmed down as much. I mean, the illustration looks about the same. So the trim size on the pages, the text actual blocks on the pages, I would imagine are the same, and it's just trimmed to a smaller size. But we might prove me wrong right here, because it would be wild. Yeah, so you can see the text block itself is about the same. It'd be wild to reset, because it's letterpress printed, like the whole shebang to get the other one. But you get like nice margin sizes here on this premium one. This does come with rights to the future titles, and Jake has graciously provided me with number 68, which matches my Centipede press number. Also, fun detail here that I forgot to point out is that the book was designed and handcrafted by Jacob Paul Goldberg. His middle name is actually Paul. He went ahead and threw that in there on account of the fact that there seem to be so many Pauls in publishing. You got Paul Suntup, Paul Fry from SST, Paul G from Thunderstorm, Paul Miller from Earthling. Everyone seems to be a Paul. So the fact that Jake's middle name is Paul, he had to go ahead and include that in there. Perfect Player Press, the name itself, I was like, I wonder if it's like a Ready Player One reference. It kind of is, but not directly. So apparently, and this is from the website, I was checking it out earlier, apparently it comes from the fact that I don't know how many there currently are, but back in 2021, there were only 10 people in history who had gotten a perfect score on Pac-Man, like the original Pac-Man arcade. And the 10th person to set that record was Jake Goldberg. So he is one of those perfect players. So that is where the name Perfect Player Press comes from. So in a way, it's kind of related to Ready Player One, because, Pac-Man had that, Pac-Man was in Ready Player One, right? It was like the 256th level, which is where everything breaks, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. I'm lucky enough to get past like level 2 in Pac-Man. That's but for those who are the Pac-Man legends, Paul is apparently one of them. Jake is apparently one of them. His middle name is Paul, so you have to identify him as Paul. Jake is one of those perfect players. So that is fascinating. But anyways, I'm excited to see what future endeavors come out here with Perfect Player Press. Jake is making it his mission to keep the profit margins fairly low on these titles. So yes, I mean they are still pricier titles compared to like your regular trade editions, but they they're still relatively cheap for what you are getting. I mean, with the illustrations, the letterpress printing coming from Nomad, the hand-bound state of the boards themselves. I mean, it almost in a way reminds me of No Reply Press. No Reply Press, Griffin Gonzalez from No Reply, does kind of similar board styles where it's very handmade effort. It's letterpress printed. In that case, Griffin actually had his, after several years of doing No Reply Press, Griffin has gotten his own printing press and started printing it in-house. And I imagine that at some point, right here it says moving forward, and I haven't read obviously this whole thing right now because I don't want to be, silently reading over the course of the video. But I imagine if the opportunity arises, Jake might even bring his own printing in-house. That's just pure speculation on my part, but I mean, isn't that really the goal of any fine press, handmade bookbinder, to do everything by hand? That'd be really cool. So I'm excited to see what Perfect Player Press has in stock. Look at those deckled edges. Deckled on every single side. This title, deckled I should say, on every side for the standard edition. We did have a clean cut on the premium edition, although we do have deckled on that side. And it is slightly deckled on top there. Whereas the standard edition is just deckled all around. So very excited to see what Perfect Player Press brings with the future. God, I love the slipcase, but it's one of those slipcases that now I got to find a place to have it face outward. It's too cool for its own good. I can't put it like in a bookshelf and hide that skull. You got to face that thing out. The link in the description below. Copies are still available for both editions. The premium edition does come with rights for future titles, so I imagine as he starts getting more and more titles out there, it might if once he gets that that white whale of a title. I mean, right now he did a public domain story, but once he gets a nice little piece that is going to be a very fancy shortstop, you might want those rights, especially when there's only 150 copies. But check out Perfect Player Press. Check out Radical Folio with the slipcases you can get for the shortstops if you so desire. And be sure to subscribe here because I will continue to support Jake. Jake's a friend, so I'm looking forward to supporting as many of the small press and fine press publishers and folks like Jake as much as I can. So I will hopefully have future Perfect Player Press unboxings on this channel as well. So I do at least one book review a week. Plenty of unboxing videos in between here and there to check out. But anyways, check out Perfect Player Press. Go play around at Pac-Man, see if you can get a perfect score for yourself, and we'll see you around next time.